We are following some breaking news this morning as it relates to the Trump presidency. Take a look. We're learning from the Associated Press that migrants who were temporarily allowed to live in the United States by using a Biden-era online appointment app have been told to leave the country immediately. This coming from officials. It was unclear how many beneficiaries would be affected. We're learning more than 900,000 people were allowed in the country using the CBP One app since January of 2023. They were generally allowed to remain in the United States for 2 years with authorization to work under a presidential authority called parole. We do have a quote from the Department of Homeland Security Media Affairs Unit. They provided a response saying, quote, "Canceling these paroles is a promise kept to the American people to secure our borders and protect national security," end quote. Authorities confirmed termination notices were sent to CBP One beneficiaries, but did not say how many. They were urged to voluntarily self-deport using the same app they entered on, which has been renamed CBP Home. The Associated Press reviewed an email received that says, quote, "It's time for you to abandon the U.S." That coming from the Department of Homeland Security. It was written to a Honduran family that entered the U.S. at the end of last year. Others shared the same email on social media platforms. To provide some perspective, if you're not familiar with CBP One, it was a cornerstone of the Biden administration's strategy to create and expand legal pathways to enter the United States in an attempt to discourage illegal border crossings. Well, by the end of December, 936,500 people had been allowed to enter with CBP One appointments at border crossings with Mexico. President Donald Trump entered and ended CBP One for new entrants on his first day in office, straining thousands in Mexico who had appointments into early February. President Trump has ended and revoked temporary status for many who benefited under Biden's policies. Homeland Security saying on Monday that Biden's use of parole authority more than any president since it was created back in 1952 further fueled the worst border crisis in U.S. history. Homeland Security saying last month that it was revoking another form of parole for 532,000 people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who flew to the country at their own expense with a financial sponsor. That ends April 24th. So we will continue to follow this breaking news alert. If you're just now tuning in, we are learning that President Trump's DHS revokes legal status for migrants who entered the U.S. on that Biden-era CBP One app. We'll continue to follow the latest developments right here on Live Now from Fox.